So a little bit about Juneteenth. How many people know about Juneteenth? And you can be honest, there's no, okay. So just imagine, right? For about 4 years, the Union and the Confederate are going at it, right? Civil War, and then there's Emancipation of Proclamation. And so slaves were brought over in chains. And not to be deep, but this is where we have to be educated about this kind of stuff so we can understand why sometimes when you see people celebrating Juneteenth, you can say, wow, I get it. It's not just something that started right now. It's something that actually has a meaning. So for 4 years, there was a war going on, you know what I mean? And people were just dying, the whole country. Emancipation of Proclamation. So now all of a sudden, slaves are technically free, but they don't know. No one's walking around telling them. So there was a general who decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna go around from state to state, from area to area, and start to tell slaves like, hey, by law, you do not have to go to work. The tricky part is, that's all you know, right? So a lot of the slaves didn't understand that, hey, what does it mean to be free? Your family was brought over in boats and chains to work indentured servitude for someone else. That's all you know, your master. So now you're free. What are you gonna do? So some people actually stayed and they appreciated the master, but some people said, no, I want a chance to be an architect and come out with new inventions. I want a chance to be an equal human being, even though we all know for a while, black people were not considered a full human being in this country. But people said, no, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to, start my own oil and gas company or energy company. And so for years, people didn't even know they were freed slaves because the Union was the Confederate, which is why sometimes there's such a controversy around, people waving certain flags and doing certain things. So that's why sometimes when you see someone that's super extreme on both sides, you can understand what's happening. And like I said, I'm not one to force anything down anyone's throat, but the history is the history. These things happen. And so when you see a black person celebrating Juneteenth in Texas, I believe, what happened was, it was like huge because a lot of the slaves said, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? You're lying. Shut up. You know what I mean? Like, no, are we really free? And then so they decided to party. It caught on like wildfire and it was June 19th. So what happens is the legacy continued more so in the South, more so in the Texas areas and things of that nature. And now we're trying to continue that legacy, which is why we bring it on. You'll see a lot of times the colors black, red, gold, and green. So the black is for the people, the people that literally were freed. The red is for the blood that was shed. Obviously, a lot of people died en route to the actual country to work. A lot of the buildings, a lot of the structures, a lot of ideas, a lot of menu items, were created by black slaves that were cooks, that were chefs, that were literally in construction, did a lot of different things. And so a lot of times, when people are celebrating, yeah, we have our July 4th, and we should all embrace July 4th. That's our Independence Day, as a country. But also, when you see people, everyone here should be celebrating that too. When slaves and black people that are just like you, 2 eyes and nostrils and a mouth, celebrate, hey, that was when we were commemorating the free slaves, who were brought here involuntarily, but now we're here and we're one people. What we do now is we barbecue. So you'll hear an expression, yeah, you're invited to the cookout. You know what I mean? When they say, hey, you know what, that's Steve, he's invited to the cookout. That means he's invited to the cookout. When black people talk about a cookout, or colored people, or people of color, we talking about, that's when family is invited, we hang out, we kick our feet up, we're, playing board games, and that's like one of the most ritualistic, if you will, pieces of our lives is, and everybody has it, but that's like our, that's sacred. The cookout is sacred. And I want everybody here to understand, this is a chance for us to actually build and also learn from one another. So when I see the different students from different areas, when I see, an energy company, when I see people from, like he said, welding and doing different things, I tell the students all the time, what do I always say, Zai or somebody? What's my favorite thing to say? You can't be? You can't be what you don't see. The reason why this is important, huh?
I said I was going to say safety in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's I need safety in the kitchen. Yeah, that is always what I say. But you can't be what you don't see. That goes for all of us, not just the students. It means, you know, you have to see us doing things together, teaching one another, uplifting one another, mentoring one another, also different job opportunities. And like my brother Audric said, he said, you know, he's willing to put his students up against anybody, against any other program, because we are equipping students with opportunities to not have the same college debt. And if they want to go to college, that's beautiful too. There's opportunities there. But showing them different opportunities, different people, different sectors, different things that they don't always get a chance to see in high school. So I'm not going to belabor the point. I think we kind of went over everything. Is there anything else I missed? I was kind of trying to just keep it nice and bright. Who are we? Like, it's an unprecedented time. We have the first black mayor of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is crazy. You know what I mean? But it's awesome. It shows you a lot of what the diversity and things that are happening. Doesn't mean everything has changed. It just means that there's opportunity for people happening. Someone like me who's an entrepreneur, I'm still mentoring. You know, I'm still coming to various events, making sure things happen. We also have, you know, Dr. Tracy. Slavery disrupted history. There are black people of all over the world who are serving as their first. And you'll see it a lot, some people get annoyed, but it's just like, could you imagine it's the first CEO ever in, you know, hundreds of years history? It's a big deal, you know, because you can't be what you don't see, right? So imagine that person that grows up not seeing an entrepreneur, not seeing a CEO that looks like them. So I just want that to resonate. You know, continue to ask questions, search for where your ancestors came from, do your own research, be proud of who you are. There's so much of our own history that we still don't know. And so because people were taking over from, you know, it's beautiful when I hear some of my Irish friends say, hey, you know, my grandpa came over and he was in Ellis Island. I'm a New Yorker, native New Yorker. So it's like, you know, and this person came over from, you know, England, and they have this rich history that was passed down from family. Imagine being a slave and you're stripped from your land and you don't even know, and now you're from South Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, so you're from, you know, Alabama, and it's like, where before that? No, that's where it stops. So I'm just, you know, challenging you guys. There's always a challenge with me. I'm challenging you guys to learn more. I'm challenging you guys to do more. I'm challenging everyone here to become a mentor and to show more. Tell a little bit more of your story, learn a little bit more about somebody else's story, because you can't be what you don't see. And that's all I'm gonna say today, and I really appreciate the time. And thank you so much. You know, it's been a really trying time for everybody with the pandemic and everything going on, and all the personal stuff that people have. So to have people in a captive audience, and it's not just good food, it's good people. So thank you very much, guys.